All right, today we're going to work with the distributive property some more, but now we're going to do it with negative numbers. So let's just start with the review problem and just kind of make sure that we know what's going on with the distributive property the way we learned it yesterday. The distributive property, it's actually the distributive property of multiplication over addition, says that I multiply over top of what's inside. So 5 times 3 is 15, so this would be 15x plus 5 times 4 is 20, and that would be my answer. But today we're going to add negative numbers. What if I have this problem? Negative 5 times 2x minus 6. Well, now we need to follow our rules of multiplying by integers. All right? And if you remember, a negative times a negative is a positive, and if I have one of each, it's a negative. So follow me closely. Negative 5 times, isn't that a positive 2? So that will be negative 10x. And now I'm multiplying negative 5 times what kind of 6? Negative 6. Very good. So this will become plus 30. Not plus a negative 30, just plus 30.
Why does it become a plus?
All right? Because it becomes a positive because we are multiplying a negative times a negative. Okay? Remember that a subtraction sign is the same thing as a negative. All right? We're going to do several more so you feel comfortable with it. Why don't you try this one now? Negative 2 times x minus 3y. Try that problem on your own. All right, using the distributive property, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6y. Now, of course, there's a number of different ways these could be written, and I want to try to expose you to those. What if it's written this way? Well, if it's written that way, then that negative on the outside, this is important. We just want to think of this negative on the outside as a negative 1. That's all you've got to do. So if you see that just negative sign, it's just negative 1 times the quantity 3x minus 5. And then we do it like the last two problems that we've done. So I'm going to distribute negative 1 times 3, which will make it negative 3x. And then I'm going to distribute negative 1 times negative 5, which is plus 5. All right, so if you just see that negative out there, just make it a negative 1. They may also write the problem this way. Negative 2 times the quantity x plus y minus z. Well, notice we have a trinomial now on the inside. We have a 3-term algebra expression. That's not a big deal. We do everything the same. And doesn't this, just ignore these parentheses here around this negative 2. They're just there to keep the sign straight. They just write it that way sometimes to keep it straight. So we're still doing negative 2 times this, negative 2 times this, negative 2 times that. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right, so negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive y is negative 2y, and we just write it as a minus. And negative 2 times negative z is positive 2z. And that would be my answer to that problem. Like yesterday, sometimes they might write it this way. Negative 5x plus 7, and then they'll write this negative 8 after it. It's the same thing that we've been doing. We learned yesterday that we can use the commutative property and change the way that it's written. I could, 7 times 5 is the same thing as 5 times 7. So I can change these sides and make it negative 8 times negative 5x plus 7, which looks more like what we've been doing. And then it's just normal from that point on. Negative 8 times negative 5 is positive 40x. Negative 8 times positive 7 is negative 56. Just a couple more things that we need to clean up. One of them is problems like this. 3p minus 4 times the quantity p minus 2. Well, this is a combination of distributive property and combining like terms. All right, so you want to be cautious here and not make a mistake. The first thing that you want to do is distributive property. We multiply always before we add or subtract. So we do distributive property, but what kind of 4 is that? This is a negative 4. So make sure you distribute a negative 4 through there. So negative 4 times p is negative 4p, and negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then we just bring down this 3p. Now, can't I combine the like terms? Do you see two p terms? So 3p minus 4p, that's like 3 minus 4, which is what? So I'll have negative 1p, bring this down, plus 8. And that would be your final answer. All right? So you are going to see some problems like that tonight. Let me give you one of these to try on your own that's something like this. How about 6y minus 2 times 3y plus 4? Try that problem on your own, and I'll pause the video. Okay, on this problem, we do distributive property first. Negative 6y, negative 2 times positive 4 is negative 8. I bring down this 6y, and I combine these two like terms, which is just 6 minus 6, which is 0. Now, we don't normally write 0y. We just leave it off. So the only thing that's left is negative 8. In other words, these two terms just went away. All right? The only other thing that you will see is one problem like this. This is our last problem. This is number 8. Is a problem where we have to do distributive property twice and then combine some like terms. And that's what's going on with this problem. It's all one sentence. It's all one expression. But we need to do each of the distributive property problems separately. So let's do that. What's 3 times 4x? 12x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Now I want you to see if you can do the second half. So the second half is negative 8 times negative 2, which is positive 16x, and then negative 8 times positive 2, which is negative 16. I need to combine my like terms, I have an x term here and here, so I just have 12 plus 16, which is 28x. And then I have like terms here and here, which would be negative 3 minus 16, which is just what? No, it's not 13. It'd be negative 19. My signs are the same, so I would add the numbers, keep the sign. Okay, that's review. We've done that before. So we will stop there for today.